Well, good afternoon, good evening, folks. My name's Ian, and of course, you're welcome to my shop. Shop? My shed? Well, that's because I'm in the workshop tonight. I'm going to try and, grinder mending. Well, grinder mending or grinder fettling. 101 for you Americans. That's Jon's workshop. He's making a wig wagger flame eater engine. Quite interesting, actually. Pop over to Jon and have a look at his flame eater, licking flame eater. Doesn't sound right, that, does it? But he's putting plenty of effort into it. Anyway, talking about effort, I've got to get some done in here. Look at all that clean floor. Eat your heart out, Miss Solace. Anyway, you all know that I brought a bunch of angle grinders home. Pretty much standardised. One might be a 995B, the other one's 9958. That's the word C. There are slight differences in the where the screws go in the head, but by the by. Right, where do I get these from? I get them from work. They're abused, without a doubt. Some are burnt out, some are faulty. We've got a deal. I fix them, I keep what's broke. Win-win. Right, let's talk about a grinder. I think you're probably all used to seeing one like that. Oh, I've not put the guard in place, but you'll see, you split it apart. That's basically it. Pull the back off, all the gubbins is in there. The wires, the brushes, the switch. If you watch that, it's a, come on, it's a sliding on-off switch. Right, let's put that to one side. That connects to there. You've got your drive nut, which fits on that square shank, and you've got the cap nut, which holds your bits on. What your bit? Right. I'm going to take that apart. Then the bevel gear, the wheel gear comes off, and that's cast aluminium. So if they are faulty and that is worn, I smash them open, take off the cast aluminium. That's that drive square as I was on about. Sometimes, and this might not be easy to see, I did wipe it. There, right in the middle, focus. There you can see part of the tooth is broken off. That makes it sound like a bag of spanners when it's running. Your bevel gear go into your housing. In the housing, you have the lock pin, and that needs to be quite firm. Pressing in and out and not waggle round a bit, quite important. The drive bevel gear for that sits in there and spins round at a high speed, held on by this 8mm nut onto the shaft. The rotor fits inside the stator. You see there's a bearing at the end, bearing at that end. As you apply, that goes to your brush holders and your on-off switch, and those two go to live and neutral on the 240 volt mains. This is a noise suppressor. In a factory, it doesn't really make much difference. You're not suppressing any household electrics. And then there's a bearing cap at the end, and it all goes together in a case. Right. Generally speaking, squeaky voice. That's commutator. Those segments. Tell you what, we get a bigger one. I get a bigger one so you can see. This is off a 9-inch grinder. So those segments are all connected to all those individual coils. Okay, and power is given to them via these brushes, which sit over like that, and as it spins round, with it being a carbon material, it conducts electricity, so that segment will then send some power to that, and that's how it works. There's a bit more to it there, and then that obviously is that, you know, it's in the, when power supplied to that, it supplies, whenever you supply electricity through copper wire, you induce magnetism. They slightly delay it, so as they induce electricity in that, yeah, it produces a north. So that bit of metal wants to go to the north, right? And then that one will get energized and become south. So that will repel it, and it will go another segment. Of course, it does it very, very fast. Basically, that's how a grinder works. It's a simple push switch. Okay, and that's operated by that going up and down, and there's a spring in there. Right, I've been given a bunch of these to sort out. There's not a lot can go wrong with them. Well, there is. Contradict yourself here. There's a hell of a lot can go wrong with them, but it boils down to mechanical, as in the bearings or the gears are worn. Mechanical, kind of electrical, in that, and this one is one I tried to resurrect, but I couldn't focus. You'll see I've tried to file this, because when the brushes get worn, you start getting those big blue flashes. Those flashes generate heat, and the heat raises the segments. Because it raises the segment, it's self-generating, it causes more friction, causes more blue sparks, starts arcing out. Once those segments have risen, it's knackered. Although there are people who can put that on a commutator lathe and turn all the segments down. I say I tried it with a file and I give up. It didn't work. You can really lean on heavy with them, especially with just a light grinder, 4.5 inch or 5 inch. These are 5 inch, and you can burn the windings out. Apart from that, basically the brushes wore down because they're spinning round and round on that, and there's one brush out of this grinder, and that's the length they should be. There's still some life left in that. That is why I've kept it, but there's others a lot smaller. And that's about it on the electrical side to that. Right, when I get a grinder, I think the first thing I do, give it a visual inspection. I look at this, press it, fine. I check the cable. Always check the cable first. You know, I can feel something there. Right, turn that over. Right, okay. It's not gone through to the wire, obviously. They've had that running, they've put it down, and it's the flap disc, the grinding disc, has rubbed against the lead. Looks like they've done it once or twice and tried fixing it themselves. So I always check the lead before I plug it in. When I do plug it in, I always use an RCD socket. Right. Right, here's another one. Right. As I was saying about the locking pin, that one is jammed in. So it's spinning, but can you see how there's something screwed around or something like that? Use this. That should not waggle around like that. That means the casting is worn, and when that whirs around like that, it catches on the bevel gears and causes problems. Right, so that one is changed the head. Hopefully I have, when I start going through these, I'll have a spare head. Some of these will be, the electrics will have burnt out, so I'll just swap parts over. Right. I'm going to put it on a tripod. Right, I'm using this one. I'm not going to hold the cable because I know it's frayed in parts, and we'll see. Working alright. You're going to see that waggling around there, haven't you? Ah, do you hear that click, 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 click at the end? That's because that jack is gone in. So that's buggered. Needs to change the head. The cable's buggered. I need to change the cable. You pick another one up. It does the same thing. You check it. You look at the cable first. Again, looks like it's like that. Ah, come on. Check all the cable. Right, get to the plug, and the plug is missing the live, neutral, no, earth, live, neutral. So that wants a plug going on it, and possibly will work. I need to change the cable. So some of these are an easy fix. Some of them are. That's another one with the head, the cap missing. It's locked, so that's jammed in. Can't turn that round, so that needs a new head. Cable seems to be wrapped round the tripod, so sorry about that. Right, so the cable seems fine, so I can take that cable off and put it on one of those. I need another cable. Right. And sometimes I can plug it in, switch it on, press the trigger, nothing happens. 2 ways of testing that. So let's plug that in. And let's switch on. Nothing. Alright, I cheated. I know this one doesn't. Right. 2 things I can do now. I can get my multimeter, take the end off, and check that I'm getting power to the switch. I also have this nifty little device that you switch it on, and if there's power going to the lead, the end lights up and vibrates. However, I don't have any batteries that size, so if there's a been dropped and there's a break in the cable inside and you can't tell, you're running that along and it's beeping and flashing, so you get to that point, you go past it and then it stops, so you know there's a break in the cable there. So that's one way. The other way, like I said, take it apart, get to the switch, test your meter to see if you've got power. You might have live, but there might be a break in the return, so then you've got to have one end on the return, the neutral, and then come back and test it on the relevant plug pin, and again with the live and also sometimes with the earth. That is how to mend a grinder 101. And it takes a bit of time to go through them all. Hang on, there we go again. That one's got a burnt cable. Oh, yeah, I can tell why that one don't work, can't you? They've cut through the cable altogether. So that is probably just a new fuse, new cable. We're looking good here. Oh, right. I do like, look at that. That's been dropped. So I do like to take anything off if I'm testing something. Check the cable. Check the plug. Plug it in. Switch it on. Fire! Oh, the magic smoke's come out. Right, if there's anything about electrics I've learned, once that magic smoke's come out, there's no putting it back in. Right. Now, all the sparks and everything was coming out the top end, so that could be the windings have burnt out. So I've got a spare set of windings. If it's the rotor, there's not a lot I can do about that. I don't have any spare rotors, but I'm sure I'll be scrapping some of these and I'll be able to cobble together some parts to mend something. Right. Well, I couldn't leave it there, could I? So I wanted to know. Well, it's still warm, still quite warm. So one screw holds the back on, that comes off. 2 screws hold the cable connector, that loosens that. You've got to flick off the switch at the back, the actual bit that turns the switch on. There's a little cap that you need to pull off, and then without it going back on, you can pull the switch out. Like that. So we know it's buggered, so I'll just cut the cable off. So with that out and that out, and I know the rest of it's buggered in there, I'll just pull the leads off. They're all the same. I can always figure out how to put it back by looking at something else. Right. So the brushes, pull the brushes off. When I say brushes, there ain't actually any brush left. Right, look at that. Hardly any brush left, and that's got no brush in at all. That must be somewhere else. Right, we need to just a gentle tippy tappy. I can pull the rotor out. I can have a look inside at the stator. I can do better than that. I can take the dust guard out and pull that out. Yeah, well, there's certainly signs of burn around there. That could be okay. Probably not. I'd have to test it on the meter. But, wow, look at that. Oh, right, this is what I was saying to you, weren't it? So the carbons run across there. Once they start lifting and lift up, you create more. There's one that's broke off. And there, drastic meltdown. That ain't going to fix, is it? So the worm gear is sound. Spinning that round. The bevel gear's sewn. Oh, that's lovely, that. And the button's fine. So that head will go straight on one of those other grinders. But if anybody of... Oh, come here. Can I stay to me bench? Right. If anybody knows how to put the magic smoke back in, just let me know. I'll probably bored you to death now with that. So, Ian, in his shed, warm, toasty shed. It's snowing outside, but warm and toasty in here with that fire on. And I'll see you in another video, because I do want to do that braking mechanism that's on my bench somewhere. Right, waffling on. Ian in his shed. Take care, everyone. See you soon.